Hi! So as I promised, today I'm going to do a more natural, it's just being rude. So I'm going to do a little bit more natural Christmas look, because I did that full glam intense Christmas makeup, and I wanted an option for people that are maybe not used to wearing so much makeup, or if you're spending the Christmas time with your family, maybe you don't want to go too hard on the makeup, you know. So today is going to be a more natural look. Let's get into it. Yesterday I used some self tanner. I do not use it on my face, so my face is still quite pale, but my neck and chest hopefully is a little bit darker. I think you can see here it's not a big difference. I want to apply one more coat of self tanner. Since the eyes are going to be pretty soft and I probably won't experience any fallout, I will start with my face, and I will use a skin tint, the Kind and Free skin tint in the shade 160. And by the way, if you have a favorite primer, you can use a primer. I just did not find my primer yet, so it has a very natural coverage and finish. It looks like you have almost nothing on your skin. Just evens out the skin tone a little bit and gives that healthy glow, which I love. I'm just using my fingers to spread it a little bit, and then I'm going to blend with my sponge. I'm using my Real Technique sponge. I'm going to use it to blend this into my skin. I'm just doing little bouncing motions here. See that beautiful finish of the skin tint? It gives that glow without looking too makeup-y. It's really natural. For my under eyes, I'm first going to color correct. I should have color corrected before the skin tint, but whatever. This is the Maybelline Age Rewind in the shade Brightener. So it's just a pink color corrector, so I won't have to apply as much concealer. I'm going to apply a pretty light coverage concealer, so I feel like the color corrector is going to help. And by the way, I forgot to mention that my brows are already done. I recently filmed a tutorial for my brows, tutorial as well as review for the products that I use, the Brow Freeze by Anastasia Beverly Hills and the brow pomade, and I'm going to link it somewhere on the screen. Anyways, moving on to concealer, I'm going to use the same range, the Kind and Free range. I have here the shade Fair and the shade Light, and I think I'm going to mix them today. This is the shade Light. It's pretty good, but I think I'm going to just lighten up with the Fair shade. Applying a little bit of that as well. Oh, and I'm going to apply a little bit of that on my lids as well, to act as an eyeshadow primer and also cancel out the darkness on my lids. To blend out the concealer, I'm going to use the medium shadow brush from Real Techniques. I just don't see myself applying eyeshadow with this one, so I'm going to use it to blend out the concealer. And I feel like the brush application, blending, it just preserves the coverage a little bit more than the sponge. The sponge kind of absorbs a little bit of the product, so I'm just going to use the brush, and I will do little tapping motions to blend in the product. I will just use the sponge to blend in the sides, so the concealer will fade into the skin tint. Time to set with some powder. I'm going to use my RCMA No Color powder and pick up some of that on my brush. This is the Real Techniques Cedar brush, so I'm using this one right. I need to blend in those creases first, then go over with the powder. Again, I'm using tapping motions. I don't really want to move the concealer underneath. And I will pick up a larger brush to set the rest of my face. Pick up the powder. And again, with little stamping motions. That's going to increase the longevity, and it's also going to mattify a little bit because I'm just a tiny bit shiny right now. Not going to do any heavy contouring, anything like that. I'm just going to use a bronzer today, and that's my Dior Nude bronzer. This is a slightly shimmery one. I really love it just to warm up the skin a little bit. And I will use little stamping motions as well as circular motions to bronze. I will use it on my chin as well, tip of my nose, and forehead. Next I'll apply a little bit of blush, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush. The blush that I'm going to use today is the Joli blush by Clarins in the shade 2, Cheeky Pink. The brush is huge compared to this little pen. This is a sample size, so the real blush is not this small. And I'm just going to stamp it a little bit above the bronzer. This is a very natural one, but I like the fact that you can build it up if you want to. It's not in your face kind of pigmented. Now I'll take my e.l.f. little baked highlighter and I will apply it with my Sigma F03 brush. This is in the shade Moonlight Pearls. It's my favorite highlighter and it's so affordable. And this is a little bit more on the soft side, so it's not that kind of a glittery, chunky highlighter. I'll finish off the face with the All Nighter setting spray by Urban Decay. And I've seen a girl on TikTok, because that's where I learned everything nowadays. She, after the setting spray dried, she would use a sponge and just stamp a little bit of powder in the pores area, and it basically vanished her pores. I want to try that, but I'm scared that I will ruin my makeup. I hope not. I feel like lately I am randomly putting TikTok hacks all over my YouTube videos, so let's try out that hack. This is a damp sponge. I'll just she says she uses a damp sponge, so I don't know. I'm going to stamp that. Kind of works. I can't believe that it works. Oh my god, I just discovered something. I mean, they're still pretty visible, but the fact that they do not reflect light anymore, I feel like it makes them look a little bit smoother. I was not this happy with my face makeup in a while. Really love how it looks. I will move on to the eye makeup, and I'll use this Zoeva the Cocoa Blend eyeshadow palette. I don't think I used this one on camera. So today is the day. I'm going to take the shade Substitute for Love. I don't know if this has any shimmer. Oh, and the brush is it's a Real Techniques Essential Crease brush, and that's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to apply this shadow in my crease. It's going to be a pretty simple eye look with just some brown crease shadow and probably a gold on the lid. This shadow is not crazy pigmented, but I really love how it looks. It's pretty soft and you can definitely build it up. At first I thought it was a little bit too dark for my crease, but since it's not so pigmented, it really looks great. I get too excited when I find a good brown shade, a good crease shade. It's just a brown, but I love it. And I feel like it also has tiny glitter particles, but it's very subtle. I will use liquid shadow on the lid. I do have these from Catrice. I think this is an older version and this is the new version, because I wanted to purchase more of these but I couldn't find them. Instead I found this one, but this one is a little bit more it's a little bit darker than this one. But I think I'm going to use the new version just in case you like it and you want to get it, because I don't think you can get this one anymore. At least I didn't find it in my local drugstore. So this is a liquid shadow, waterproof, in the shade Free Spirit. So I'm gonna apply this one directly on my lid, and then I will use my finger to blend it. And just tap it with my finger. I will bring it up towards my crease. This is not as spectacular as it used to be. I feel like the older version was a little bit better. Not really impressed with that one. So this is the one that I'm currently using. And I'm going to show you the old one. Like, see, it's a lot more metallic and reflective than this one. So I think I'm going to need actual eyeshadow on top. I'm going to use this one from the palette and just use it on top of this liquid shadow. Oh, that's pretty. And by the way, if you have any recommendations for liquid shadows from the drugstore that are pretty sparkly, like I want reflective sparkly eyeshadows, if you have any recommendations for that, let me know, because I would love to try some. I'm just gonna take this matte white shadow. It looks white, I don't know if it's white or like a cream shadow, and I'm going to highlight my inner corner with it. Just for a nice subtle pop, I will apply this gold pencil on my waterline. This one is from NYX, it's from their Slide On range. And the shade is called Glitzy Gold. It's not that noticeable, but it's a nice touch. I want to intensify my lash line a little bit, and I will pick a darker shade. I think I will pick, I don't know, Infusion, probably. It's a black shade, but it has glittery, gold glittery particles. And I will just slightly smudge that on my outer corner of my lash line. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, I just applied my Lash Brag mascara by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and on my lips I will pick red, of course, it's Christmas, but if you feel like it's too much, of course you can go for nudes, or if you don't want to reapply throughout the night. I don't know how your traditional Christmas table looks like, but in Romania there's so much greasy food, like that's Christmas for us. And doesn't matter how long lasting the lipstick is, if you're eating greasy, oily foods, it's going to fade, especially in the inner portion of the mouth. So if you don't want to reapply and you're eating greasy food, I would stay away from red, because obviously it's going to look weird if it fades and you don't reapply it. Yeah, let's apply the red, but first I'm going to line my lips with this Makeup Forever pencil. I'm overlining a little bit in the center. And the lipstick, I don't think I've used this one this Christmas season. This is the Sleek Matte Me. The shade is called Rioja, I think it's pronounced. I don't know, just you read it yourself. I will stop making a fool out of myself. This is pretty long lasting, so nice. And it's that kind of really intense, fiery red. This particular formula is so drying, but it just looks so beautiful. Really love this shade. And yeah, that's the look complete. I'm not adding anything else. If you enjoyed today's video and look, don't forget to hit the like button, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I'm so obsessed with Christmas, especially this year, I don't know why. Yeah, thank you for watching. Hope I'll see you next time. Bye!